أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, everyone. Thank you once again to join the Book 6 Majlis Ulama Shia online class. Inshallah, we'll wait for another minute before we start while people are joining in. Okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Once again, thank you very much for joining in. And as today is the first of Ramadan, Ramadan Mubarak to you all. May Allah accept all your amal, including this class of learning, inshallah. And hope you make the best use of the time in this holy month. So just another request, if you can just please keep your microphones mute and communicate via the chat when I do ask any questions. That would be appreciated. So we will begin, inshallah. Okay, so today's class is about Akhlaq and history. Last time we had fiqh and fiqh and aqaid in the class, and it will be an alternating class where we have fiqh and aqaid in one week and then akhlaq and history in the other ones. So I'll just quickly go through the first bits. We did discuss this in detail in the last session. So we'll just go through the rules of the class. I'll show you what the class will be like in terms of the structure. We'll all make sure that we have the right intention. So all of us have the same intention. We'll do a small dua, go through the akhlaq and history topics, and then finish with a dua and some reminders for the next class, inshallah. So the rules for the online class is thank you very much for everyone who have been punctual. Alhamdulillah, we had more than 20 people waiting just before 6 o'clock. So that's a good example for everyone. If you can all be ready so we can start latest by a minute or two past 6 o'clock. If you can attend all classes, that will be appreciative and also very beneficial to yourself because then you can cover all of the topics and all of the material that will be shared with you. If you can listen carefully and quietly, trying to be in a part of the house where you have less distractions, so you can concentrate and also communicate via the chat section, inshallah. So the structure of the class would be, we will have a 50-minute class approximately with two sections of 25 minutes each for fiqh, akhlaq and history. Majlis Ulama books are available from shop.majlis.org.uk, and they can also be downloaded from other places like Al Murtaza and collected from Luton. Highly recommended that you can go online and get the books from there as a reference. Majlis Ulama's Islamic curriculum has got 7 books in total. And it is expected that you would have covered book 1 to 5 so far. There are classes running on different days of the week. So if you have covered those 5 books, then today's session is related to book 6. However, we will be reviewing all the books in one session before we move on to the content in book 6. So if you haven't covered that, I will give you a quick overview of the previous books in all the 4 topics. So getting the intention right, I did cover this in the last class, and we all need to be sure of why are we attending this today. And I went through different reasons and asked you for different reasons as well. And Alhamdulillah, everyone had the right intention. But just to get all of us on the same page, our intention for today's class is, and you can repeat after me just so that it's set in your mind as well. I want to learn to follow my religion properly, become a better person, and support my Imam. And you may have more intentions, that is, but in summary of what we want to achieve out of today are these 3 things, inshallah. So before we start, we'll always be reading this dua, the dua from the Holy Quran. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Again, you can repeat that with me. Rabbi zidni ilma. My Lord, increase me in knowledge. At the start of any learning activity, we recite this dua to get Allah's help in learning and also retaining the knowledge that we will learn. So, this dua will help us, and Allah will help us throughout this class, inshallah. So let's begin our lesson today. The first part is Akhlaq, and I just want to go through some summary points, and so that we understand what do we mean when we say Akhlaq. Again, as previously mentioned for fiqh and aqaid, Akhlaq is a subject that is taught from book 1, which is age 5 to 6 years, all the way up to Hosa level at different paces. So you would have learned Akhlaq, probably the same topics, but in a different way in book 1 to 5. And from book 6 onwards, Akhlaq will be, you'll see the same topics, but understand more or go deeper into the same topics. So Akhlaq basically means good manners. That's the meaning of it. And good manners can be combined into a lot of things. At this point, if you want to write in chat another meaning of Akhlaq apart from good manners, or what do you understand from it, that would be good. So I can get an understanding from you as well. What do you think so far Akhlaq means? Is it just good manners? Is it other things? Is there a different way of explaining Akhlaq? You can use the chat function to write, where I can see a lot of salams. So yes, so Tanveer says not lying. That is good Akhlaq, yes, one of the manners. Presenting yourself as a good Muslim to the Ummah. Yes, again, that's good Akhlaq. All the good things like being respectful. Abbas says not swearing. T. says it's the plural of khulq. No cheating. Zain and Alina says it means a way of living life. So it means a way of living life, but it's in your actions. So yes, being modest, good. So all these things we kind of agree that it's all the good manners or all the manners, I'll say, because akhlaq can be good or bad, but obviously we will focus on the good part of it, is akhlaq. Akhlaq requires one to be mindful. So what you'll notice in my classes that I will have in the PowerPoints, there'll be statements, and the notebook that you have available. I'll appreciate if you can write these statements, so later on you can reflect on these and have it for future as well. The same notebook that we used last time, if you can write these statements, and I will explain each of the statement in the class. So akhlaq requires one to be mindful. There is a difference between one person doing something and the other person doing the same thing. When humans compares themselves to animals, they have a very different life to a human life. When you wake up, some things go into your mind. You plan your day. You choose to do certain things. You don't choose to do certain things. You behave in a certain way. So if we are talking about akhlaq, it requires one to be mindful. Without thinking, you can't apply good akhlaq, and we will discuss how being mindful creates the good akhlaq. Yes, please. Yeah, T-Batu says, do we put this in our notebooks? Yes, if you can put these statements in your notebooks, then in future it'll be a reminder for you. And also these videos will be available in YouTube for you to look later on and listen to the explanation of these statements. The next one is that all our actions have an akhlaq perspective to them. So akhlaq is we had some examples of being modest, dressing nicely, and helping the poor. But if you notice that all of our actions that we do in the daytime, all the way from when we wake up to when we go to sleep, have an akhlaq perspective to them. So when you wake up and you get ready to go to school, you dress in a certain way and you want to be neat and clean. That's an akhlaq. There's an akhlaq perspective in there. When you eat your breakfast, when you even go to the toilet, when you talk to your parents, when you talk to your siblings, every action has an akhlaq perspective to it. So we will discuss some of them, but in your daily lives, whatever you're doing, think of the akhlaq perspective in it, and there will be a good part of it and a bad part. The fourth statement is quite important because sometimes, and this is where we subtly compare akhlaq and fiqh. So in the last class, we discussed that fiqh is how you do your actions and what is the Islamic way of doing it. So there are rules which you need to follow, and there are rights and responsibilities. But consider this situation where you are fulfilling the rights of your parents. So let's say your parents are old and you need to look after them. So you are going to them and giving them, let's say, £100 and say, here's £100 and I have fulfilled my responsibility. That is one part which is fixed. So you're not leaving your parents alone, but you have done something. But without akhlaq, that £100, if the parents are not happy, or that is not what they need. They need you to talk to them in a proper way. That £100 would be of no use. So any rulings that you follow, so within fasting, for example, those of you who are fasting today, you're following all the rules that that make the fast valid, and not following the rules which invalidate the fast. But during that, you are not talking to your brothers and sisters properly. You're not doing any act of kindness. You are sleeping all day and not doing anything else. So all these things are not useful if akhlaq is not remembered while doing your actions. And last point is good akhlaq always has a long-lasting impact. where whenever you deal with either yourself or with others in good akhlaq, it always has a long-lasting impact where people will remember you for what you did. So if an elderly person needed some help and you helped them out, yourself will always remember that, and also the elderly person, that there was this boy or girl who came to me and helped me with my shopping, putting my shopping in the car, for example. Or if suddenly you're passing by and you see someone as someone's things are fallen down, if you just help them collect their things, they will also remember, and you will also remember, and all these good akhlaq things build up and together make you a better person and want to do more good deeds. Lastly, there should be no compromise on good akhlaq, which means that it's not okay to do certain good things certain days and not do certain things when you don't feel like it. So if lying is a bad habit, it's not okay to lie some days and not lie some days. And if backbiting is bad, you can't allow yourself to backbite sometime and not backbite sometimes. When you are following the route of good akhlaq, all the things that will go through that constitute that comprise of good akhlaq, they need to be followed all the time. Sometimes we do make mistakes, and the door of repentance is always open. So as soon as you realize this, you can ask for Allah's forgiveness, but try to be in that state of good akhlaq all the time. So if you're clean, if you want to be clean and your room, for example, needs to be clean, it has to be clean all the time rather than sometimes. Let's do a quick activity. And here I would need your input. So the first picture shows a plate full of food. How is this related to akhlaq? If I can have some input, please. So eating manners are also a part of akhlaq, and I just want to hear your views. How does this full plate shows either good akhlaq or bad akhlaq, or what would you take it out in terms of akhlaq perspective? Tanveer Sayed says you have to eat halal food. Yes, that's good. So definitely all food needs to be halal. Sharing my food, yes. Eat a little when and then have some more after. Iman Fatma, very good answer. Mustafa Rizvi, bad akhlaq as it is messy. Very good answer. Yes, respectfully, Mustafa Rizvi says. Eat properly and then halal. So yes, very good answers. All of them are good answers. And another way to look at it is, as someone mentioned, is to take out what you can eat in your plate only. We have this common habit of if lots of food is available, then we'll just take out whatever we like, and in the end not manage to finish all of it, and then that food goes to waste. So one of the good akhlaq or good manners is to take out what you can eat only. Second picture also shows something which I won't ask you because it's quite like self-explanatory, but this is where you are seeing three children helping an elderly lady. One of them stopping, saying thank you to the bus driver, and the other two helping the lady walk. And this is where as friends you can encourage each other to do good akhlaq as well, where if you're passing by a road and there is something in the middle of the road, then tell it to each other and then try to supersede each other in doing good akhlaq activities. Last picture, do you have any comments on that in terms of good akhlaq? What do you think is happening there? Yes, Tanvi Sayyid says in the last pic, children are helping their dad, which shows good akhlaq when you are dealing with your parents. Helping the elders, yes. Respecting the elders. Good. So in the last picture, there are a few aspects of akhlaq. One of them is that your parents will not always ask you to do something. You need to be looking at them and understanding and trying to guess what they will be doing next and try and help them out. So in this case, maybe the dad was getting ready and his shoes were not clean. The children took the initiative and said, okay, we'll clean the shoes without the dad asking them. The other one is if you have siblings, then you can either do it yourself or you can involve your brother and sister in the same deed so that both of you can earn sawab out of it. And yes, helping parents without complaining, Zain Zedi said, another good point. Okay, so let's move on. In book 125, there were a lot of akhlaq topics that were covered, and all these things, as I mentioned earlier, all your actions are part of akhlaq, and always there are two sides of it. So there will be a good side and the bad akhlaq. And there are a lot of topics like akhlaq phrases, for example, the second one in the first column. This is related to the words that we want to make more common in our communication and talks with other people. So if you see something really good, then you say mashallah. If you talk something about the future, you would say inshallah. So these things are also good akhlaq, and you will see that your talks will become better if you start to include these phrases. And every time you use one of these phrases, you are asking for Allah's involvement in the task or in the place that you are. And whenever Allah gets involved, it is always a good thing, and it ends up in success. So there are other ones as well that you can see. These all have been covered in book 125. And if you haven't gone through the books, you can obtain them from the Majlis Ulama website and go through them. I have picked out a few of them that will cover, which is as a recap. Then moving forward, we will have the topics of book 6 itself from the week after next. So the first topic is do not be selfish. And this is some of the akhlaq or good akhlaq or manners combined into one topic, and this is one of them. So whenever you think about being selfish, this person always is in their own world or in their own bubble. And it's very easy to be involved in yourself and your things, and spend your day and night and pass those important moments without achieving a lot. So the point in there is that we should always think about others before ourselves. So in your daily life, make this a habit where when you wake up, you wake up in a nice bed under a duvet with a nice comfy pillow. Think about people who may not be in that situation, and just make dua for them that may Allah help everyone, and if it's their test, then let them pass through the test easily. Just in that little action, you have done some good akhlaq, and every good akhlaq, every good deed has multiple rewards. So whatever you're doing, if you can share it with others then do that. If you can't share it with anyone else, then think of them and make a dua for them. Next one is kindness to parents, and this probably requires a lot more explanation, but in a very summary way. If you think always in your mind, whenever you're talking to your parents, or you think about your parents, or you come across your parents, that you exist because of them. If the parents weren't there, if the parents didn't do what they needed to do when you were young, if the parents didn't raise you up in the right way, you would not be sitting here. So that thought in your mind is an act of good akhlaq, and it will influence all your actions that you do with your parents. The third one is being truthful. So there is a hadith saying that if all the sins are packed in one room, and that room is locked with a key, that key is lying. So lying is the worst of all the sins, and hence the opposite of that, which is being truthful. So if you make talking the truth or saying the truth as part of your life, then you can be sure that a lot of sins you are away from. And the last topic, again, a lot of topics, but I've just picked these four, which are very significant and makes a lot of difference in your life. The fourth one is thanking Allah and making dua. So we usually we thank Allah when everything is going good. So if you get good marks in your exams, if you get a gift or a present, or if you get something good that you like, if everything is going well, we thank Allah. But normally when there are issues in your life, or challenges or problems happening, then we forget to thank Allah and worry about how do we get out of that problem. But the real way of thanking Allah is to thank Allah in the moment. When you're healthy and well, you thank Allah. But if you're not well and ill, or have any sort of issues, you thank Allah at the same time too. And the reason behind that is it's the same Allah that gives you health, and it's the same Allah that gives you the illness or the disease. So if you thank Allah, He will remember you, and also whether you are passing through a test or Allah is doing it for any reason, He will do the best for you. And making dua also makes you feel that Allah is the one and the great, and He is the master of everything. Only ask Allah for all your needs. So anything that you want, in your life, in terms of du'as, ask them, and Allah will make that happen. Obviously, your daily things, that you need for your elders for, you can talk to them. But in terms of du'a, so making yourself a better person, if you have a bad habit, removing that, making sure that you pray namaz on time, making sure making dua that you can learn more and retain knowledge. So when you get to exam time, you can remember everything, and Allah helps you, helping you do like good deeds. So continue to make duas to Allah and thank Him in whatever situation you are in, and that would be counted as good akhlaq and good manners, and you will be rewarded for it, inshallah. Book 6 akhlaq topics are these, which inshallah from week after next we'll pick up a few and go through them. If you have book 6 in a PDF format, then you can go through all the topics, but inshallah we'll pick up a few of them and talk about them in detail. Okay, so it's time for some self-assessment relating to akhlaq, and I will ask some questions. So if you can read the question and try and answer on the chat or for yourself. Self-assessment is when whatever you have learned, we'll try to apply that in our daily lives. So I want all of you to think and look at what you're wearing right now. And find out the aspects of good akhlaq inside it. So if you are wearing clean clothes, if you are wearing clothes that cover all your body, if you are wearing clothes that are, for example, your own, and all these things are in the right place, then you have followed good akhlaq. Yes. Anything else that reminds you from your clothes? Any aspects of good akhlaq? Modest clothes, clean clothes, hijab, yes, covering the body. Good. Clean clothes and being pure, yes. Let's remember what we ate in our last meal and how is that related to good akhlaq. Okay, someone mentioned dates, halal. Oh, we are fasting, yes. So you can remember suhoor time, or if you fasted yesterday, then iftar time last night. Being grateful, as some of us don't have it and fast without or little food, yes. So some people are telling me what they ate in their last meal. It's about how you ate your last meal. Inshallah, if you had halal food, everything is good. So some things to reflect on is how much did you eat? Did you eat a lot in there, or you ate enough to fill yourself? Yes. Did you make sure that everyone else eating with you had enough meal as well, or you just took everything out? Did you eat before? Did you said Bismillah before eating, and Alhamdulillah at the end of eating? Did you cleaned up the place where you were eating, or you just left with your half plate in there? Good. Yeah, all good answers in there. Um, think about what have you done for others recently. So you may have done a lot of things for yourself in the last few days, but think about anything that you did for either your parent or your brother and sister or another relative, a neighbor, a friend. Yes, so Qasim Ali says, help my mum with housework. Again, really good example. T. Batul said, you cleaned the house. Alina Abbas says, share food with my neighbors, made iftar for everyone. Okay, clean table after eating. So all these, these are all your reminders. So, as we said, that for good akhlaq, you need to be mindful. So when you think that you are in your room all day or doing things for yourself only, think about what else you can do for others. 4 questions. And this is something you can just answer yourself, and everyone would know this. Is your parents happy with you? And this is a big question. For whatever reason, if you have made your parents angry, then you can go to them and do something that will make them happy again. But it's very important, that your parents are happy, because when your parents are happy, Allah is happy with you. And lastly, as a reflection for yourself only, of all the list that I mentioned earlier, if you think what are your bad manners, if you have any bad manners, then think of those, and try and correct them. You may need either your teachers or elders' help in there. But once you have reflected on, these are the bad qualities in me, then you can easily try and fix them. Okay, so as a closing point on akhlaq, these are the 5 statements, and if you can again note them down in your books. Good akhlaq overshadows everything. So if you are a person with good akhlaq, then you can be the best person around. And uh, just looking at the chat some now, considering that we are learning about good akhlaq, maybe while you're talking to someone or between a group, you can find what are the things that are good akhlaq. So if you can please limit your chats to when I ask a question. If not, then one of the admins will take care of this, inshallah. So good akhlaq overshadows everything. If you have a good akhlaq, then inshallah you'll be the best person around, and others will get inspired and influenced from you. All our actions are related to akhlaq. As I mentioned in the beginning, the point you wake up in the morning all the way up to the end, everything as an akhlaq perspective into it. So think about it, and inshallah you can learn good manners and also help others in their learning too. Good akhlaq should always increase. So if you are doing a charity, for example, if you are helping someone, if you are fulfilling rights of other people, if you are gaining knowledge, if you are doing your prayers and other things on time, it should always increase. So you should do more charity, you should do more of whatever you're doing. If for any reason you see that good akhlaq is decreasing and turning into bad akhlaq, then have an understanding of that straight away and ask Allah for forgiveness. But if you have done any bad deeds with other people, then it's easy to go up to them and just ask for an excuse, that this happened, which would be far less easier than not do anything about this in this world, and have to deal with it in the hereafter. If you expect good akhlaq from others, then treat others with good akhlaq as well. So as we're saying that when we're walking around, when we're talking to people, we want people to treat us really good. If you treat them well, even if they don't treat you good in the beginning, then they will treat you with good akhlaq after a while. And listen to those who tell you how to improve. So lots of people will come in your life who will tell you, if you could do this, you will improve. If you change one of your habits, then you'll improve. Listen to all those people. Those people are real friends, and always take that advice very seriously and positively, because if they've taken the time out to tell you what needs to be done, then it is for your benefit. So that concludes our akhlaq session, and now we'll move on to history. Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So the question, as we'll continue with the theme of recapping of book 1 to 5 of history, and I want all of you to understand and have the same definition and same points on why are we learning Islamic history. So I will explain some of the points, but can I have input at this stage from other people? Why do you think we learn Islamic history? To learn the history of our religion, Qasim Ali says, yes, very good. Learn from the past. Iman Fatma, another good one. Anyone else? Why do you think we have to learn Islamic history? The past teaches us to better our future. Yes, good example. We know who important people are. Tanveer Sayed says that to learn lessons. M. Imran Dua Zahra says know your mistakes. And Alina Abbas says to commemorate significant events. Yes. Okay, thank you. So let me give you some of more examples or similar examples. So one of the reasons why we learn Islamic history is to understand stages of Islam's progress. So most of the Islam that we have in terms of knowledge is obviously as every day passes by is turning into history. So all the way from when Allah created Prophet Adam alayhi salam to today, there have been multiple stages of Islam. There have been lots of prophets with their own communities. Then Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, came. Then the Imams came, and Imam Mahdi was there at one point, and he is still available for us. And as time moves on, Islam progresses. So history tells us what stages has Islam been through. We learn on how our holy prophets and imams were in their own times. We learn about other significant people in the past. So not just the holy personalities, but other people who were influential and who made a difference and helped our holy imams and the prophets. We understand historic events. So there were a lot of things that happened in history, like battles, discussions, events, and we understand what happened in those events and obviously learn from it. And again, as a summary, we learn Islamic history to learn from what happened in the past to make our present and future better. So knowing, how Islam has progressed, knowing our holy prophets and imams, knowing the significant people, knowing historic events. Yes, Zanzadi says Karbala, for example. So taking just Karbala as an example, we can learn from what happened in the past. So we'll go through Karbala, inshallah, in future classes. But we can learn on what happened in Karbala and use that to make our current situation better and also the future, inshallah. Okay, so I just want, there's activity and there will be pictures coming on your screens. And if you can write down, what was that event in history, use your chat box. So the first picture is up. What does that picture say in terms of event? What was happening at that time? Okay, I'll give it another 5 seconds. Iftar, someone says. Anyone else? They gave their food to the poor person. Imam Ali was giving food to the poor. Holy person helping a woman. Yes. So all of you got it like very close, right? This is the time when Imam Ali, Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein and Bibi Fatima, they fasted. And at the time of their breaking the fast, a poor person came and Imam Ali went and gave the food to the poor. So there's a lot of lessons that we can learn from this event. Second picture. Yes, Mushtaba says Panjatani Park. Tanveer says Mubahila. Anyone else? Good. I think that's something that everyone got really easily. Yes, it is the Mubahila event where the Prophet and Imam Ali, Bi Fatima, Imam Hassan, and Imam Hussain alayhi salam, they all went for Mubahila. And yes, there's a lot of lessons learned from that event as well. Next picture, please. Okay, Mustafa Rizvi says Prophet Musa. Can someone explain what's happening? Survivors of the battle, someone says. That's not right. Nice. Daniel Jaffri says Prophet Musa and path made for Banu Israel. Yes. So in this event, when Fir'aun was treating the local people really badly, and Prophet Musa came into that community, one night he said he will leave the place, and when the Pharaoh's army was following them, the ocean came, and at that point, the sea split, and Prophet Musa's army or people just passed through that. So one of the lessons you can learn from this story is always follow your Imam, whatever he is doing, because he will always be doing the best for you. Next picture. Yes, everyone got it? So this is Prophet Ibrahim when he was being thrown into the fire because he um, he broke down their idols. He Lots of the practices of the people at Prophet Ibrahim's time, he denied all of them. So they decided to put him in the fire, and all of you know that the fire was made cold in there. So the lesson to learn in there is always speak the truth and always follow Allah's path. Even if you get into problems, Allah is the one who will solve all your problems. So well done, everyone. In the historic activity, you all got the picture and the events. But more importantly, we let's in future when you go through an event, learn on what you can get out of that event and what lessons you can learn from it. So there are a lot of history topics that have been covered in book 1 to 5, mainly about prophets and the imams and the Ahlul Bayt, and some great historic events like Ghadir and Mubahila and Karbala, for example. You can read all of them and understand and learn from book 1 to 5, book 1 to 5 topics. Book 6 covers the Holy Prophet and his ancestors. So from the week after next, we'll have a whole class on Prophet's ancestors, so all the people that were related to the Prophet before the Prophet. And in the next classes, we'll talk about his adulthood. So when the Prophet grew up, what sort of situation was it at that time, after his death, and then all the events that led up to Karbala. So I chose two topics that I want to discuss today in history, which have a great importance in our religion. And one of them is Ghadir. So Ghadir is also known as Eid al-Ghadir. It was an event that happened, and I'll just go through what happened and what we can learn from that event. So the first lesson that we learn from the event of Ghadir is that when the Prophet's time ended and he was about to pass away, there was a requirement of him to hand over what he was doing to another person, so that there is always a guide available in Islam. So the lesson that we learn from this point is that at every time on this earth, there is a guide available, and it's not possible for Allah to leave the earth without a guide. Ghadir's event also reminds us of the last pilgrimage. So the Holy Prophet was in his last year before he passed away, and he went to pilgrimage with majority of the Muslims at that time. So it was a significant event where all the people who have just finished Hajj are on way back to their homes and still with the Prophet before they depart their own ways. The next point is Imam Ali. So Ghadir is the time where the concept of imamat started in its physical sense. The Holy Prophet, as you can see in the picture as well, in front of all the thousands of people that are with him, accompanied him in the Hajj and now going back, he raised Imam Ali's hand and tell everyone that from whoever I am, the master, Ali is the master. The event itself is explained from this ayah of the Holy Quran. So it says in the Quran, on this day I have perfected your religion and completed my favors and have chosen Islam as your religion. So on the day of Ghadir, Allah revealed this verse and said that Holy Prophet has kind of completed his job, where he's said all that has been conveyed to him through the wahi from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Quran has been revealed, all the rulings have been defined, and now it's the time to hand it over to Imam Ali, so he can guard and explain all those rulings to the Islamic Ummah and the Muslims. Why is Ghadir important? Ghadir is the time where, as some of you would be aware, that after the Holy Prophet, Islam was divided into different sects. And Ghadir is the time where, according to Shia belief, Imamat started and Imam Ali became the first Imam. And then there is a continuous succession of Imams after Imam Ali until today. So Ghadir is important within Shia Islam and also in Islam in general, because this is the time where after the Prophet, what was about to happen was explained in very detail. The next topic is Imam Mahdi, alayhi salam, ajalallahu ta'ala farajul sharif, and which is being covered in book 1 to 5, but I want to go through a few points from there. So the first topic around Imam Mahdi alayhi salam is that every point in history, either there was a prophet present or an imam present, and they were people living in those times and following their imams and serving humanity and understanding the religion from imam at that time. The imam of our time, so if we were alive 1,000 years ago, we would have been in a time of a different imam. But at present, Imam Mahdi alayhi salam is our imam of our time, and it's crucial to understand that and keep remembering that even though he's not in front of us, but he is the imam of our time, and we have the same responsibility as if we were living in a time of a different imam who was in front of us. There are some questions on where is the imam right now. Again, you would be aware and you would have learned about occultation, that when imam was very young, he went into the minor occultation where he had 4 deputies, and he used to communicate with the rest of the Muslims and Shia Muslims via those deputies. Then he went to major occultation, which he is still in now, and he can see us and he knows everything about us, but we are unable to see him with our eyes right now. But if you do elevate yourself and you have good deeds, then there are people who can meet the imam. The next question is, what does he do every day? So he's not in front of us, but he must be doing something for all this time. And the concept of imam is that everything that happens in this world happens via the imam. So imam runs the world almost. And whatever the good deeds and the bad deeds that you do are presented in front of the imam. The seasons, the way food is distributed, everything that happens happens via the imam. It doesn't mean to say that imam does everything all by himself. He does things on Allah's will. So whatever Allah's will is, He implements that will within the world. When will Imam come? This is something that no one knows about. The way I explain it is, rather than worrying about when will Imam come, we need to worry about when are we ready for Imam. And if everyone thinks that they are ready for Imam, then inshallah Imam will come very soon. And lastly, what happens if Imam was here? So just for a few seconds, think of a time where you are still in your homes and we are doing this class, but Imam is available. So Imam is somewhere in the world, and we can reach out to him. So he has come out of occultation and he is there. What will change in our lives? Will we be just exactly the same? Or something will change. Let's hear some answers. What if Imam was here? Would anything change in our life? Yes, Abbas says yes. Can someone give an example? Yes, so he will fill the world with justice. Yes, so with Imam is here right now, we have this thirst that if we want to contact the Imam anytime, we are not able to. If Imam was here, we'll be able to contact him, and all the questions that we have or anything that we are worried about, we'll be able to contact him directly, and inshallah, he will help us. Apart from that, when Imam is here right now, we get away with doing some bad deeds and nothing happens. Imam would be a representative of Allah, and if things don't happen according to the religion, then Imam will do justice. Okay, so some self-assessment here, and I'll go through this very quickly. This is for you to answer yourself. Do we know what hardships the Prophet went through the early stages of Islam? If we think that we have done some history topics, can we answer these questions? Do we know the dates of birth and deaths of our prophets and imams? Can we tell what happened in Karbala? And do we know at least one thing that happened in each of our imams' time? So for example, we said Imam Jaffri Sadiq is one of our imams, the sixth imam. What was one of the significant events in his lifetime? So if we can answer these questions, then we know a bit of history. So I've just given some answers here, and inshallah you will have your own answers as well. So what happened in Prophet's time? Some dates and births, dates of births and deaths, and Imam Hussein's journey towards Karbala, and Imam Jaffri Sadiq, for example, used to give Islamic subject classes and almost formed a mini university, teaching all the sciences and different subjects. Okay, so just to summarize history, topic for book 125. History is not to be forgotten. So history is not something that happened and we move on. We remember history and we learn from history. We got most of the Islam through history. Some bits do need to be validated because it may come to us in a different version of it. So not all history is 100% true. Some bits need to be validated. History helps in decision making. So when you learn from all these events and the holy personalities, you can make better decisions. And our prophets and imam have a wealth of knowledge for us to learn from in form of hadith and riwayats and tafsir of the Quran. So history helps us understand all that has been made available from our prophets and imams. And we actually get to know of Allah's act through history. So what happened in a particular time of history and what did Allah do at that time, we learn how Allah acts. Okay, so we'll end on the dua of Imam Izwana. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. You can all read with me. Allahumma kulli waliyyika al-Hujjat ibn al-Hasan, salawatuka alayhi wa ala aba'ih, fi hadhihi as-sa'ati wa fi kulli sa'ah, وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Just lastly, next class would be on Saturday, 2nd May, and we will have a Kahoot game. It's an online game that you can play on a mobile phone. If you can go onto this website, kahoot.com/home/mobile app, and make sure if you have an Android or an Apple device, Kahoot is downloaded. I will give you next instruction on how to use it in the next class at the beginning. So until then, may Allah keep us safe and everyone else safe as well, inshallah. And do look after all the ones around you, and inshallah make your good manners increase as the day passes by in the month of Ramadan. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. All of you are saying thank you. Thank you for your time and listening, and all those who concentrated in the class, and hopefully you've learned a few new points.